You see it, let's get it. Is Facebook Messenger secure? The government is blocking security. That's an interesting thing. I think they're secure. I just don't trust them as a company. So let's get into it. Facebook Messenger privacy. This is coming from their privacy portion of their website. Protecting your privacy, opting in to end-to-end encrypted chats and calls. When you want to remain completely private, you can choose to send end-to-end encrypted message or make end-to-end encrypted calls. This means that messages, calls can only be seen or heard by you and the person you send them to, and no one else, not even us. Us is Facebook can listen in as part of our commitment to privacy. Messenger will become end-to-end encrypted by default. So actually, they're still working on that. The government is actually protesting end-to-end encryption from Facebook. I live from police stations and sheriffs and even FBI gets worried that when something as large as Facebook Messenger, because half the planet's on it, they call it going dark. Your messages are your messages. We want to know what information we collect and how we use it. We don't use we don't use the content of your messages with other people for ad targeting, which means advertisers can't target you based on what you say in a message. As with parts of Facebook, we collect information about Messenger primarily to provide the service, improve the product experience, and keep people safe and secure. So let's talk about ads together. Learn more about how data is used to show you ads without advertising, learning who you are. Controls you have help to determine what ads you get and why you are seeing particular ads. But if you look out there, most people believe when they say something, it automatically shows up in Facebook, right? So that's been a debate for forever. Activities across Facebook companies and products. Ads are shown to you based on your activity across Facebook companies and products, such as pages you and your friends like, information, your Facebook and Instagram profiles, places you check in using Facebook, your activities with other business. When you share information like your phone number, emails with businesses, they might add to a customer's list that can be matched to your Facebook profile. We can then try to match that ad to your most relevant audience. You may have shared your information with these businesses by signing up for an email newsletter, making purchases at a retail store, or signing up for a coupon or a discount. Right, so that means Facebook is using third-party advertisers to consolidate, and we call it a digital dossier. They take all of the information and kind of create a profile of what you're doing, your income level, your political issues, and roll all that up into one, and sell your sell you advertisements, that you would want to buy stuff at a certain level. Your activities on other websites and apps. Websites you visit and apps you can send Facebook data directly by using our business tools such as Pixel to help show you ads based on your products or services you look at, such as a shirt on a clothing retailer's. Examples include visiting one of their pages, downloading their mobile app, adding a product to a shopping cart, or making a purchase. Your location. We use your location data to show you ads from advertisers trying to reach people in or near a specific place. We get this information from sources such as connect to the internet, where you use your phone at. Obviously, you have your location on the phone, and they triangulating your location from your Facebook and Instagram profile. Right, so Facebook has a myriad of ways to figure out where you're at. Right. Some of the things from security hack is cut on two-factor authentication, proves your account safety and help protect yourself from hacking and phishing. Login alerts help safeguard your account by potential threats and attacks by enabling login alerts. These alerts will, if you were detect unrecognized login or login attempt, safer message requests. It's easy to block or delete new message requests to keep you extra safe. We also hide or blur your images and disable links unless you reply to the message or copy and paste the link in your browser tab. All right, so Facebook does do not a few, but a lot of things to help you with security. So Facebook is rolling options to make voice and video calls end-to-end encrypted on Messenger. along with updated controls for disappearing messages. People extract these message apps to be secure and private. With these new features, we're giving them more control over how private they want their calls and chats to be. Options for any encryption, voice, video calls. You gotta remember, you can actually pay people out of Messenger, voice, group chat, video calls, video chat. Messenger has a ton of capabilities. In 2016, we offered the option to secure your one-on-one text chats with end-to-end encryption. In the past year, we've seen a surge in the use of audio and video calls, with more than 150 million video calls a day on Messenger. That's 150 million video calls a day. Now we're introducing calling to this chat mode so you can secure your audio and video calls with the same technology if you choose. The content of your message and call in an encrypted conversation is protected from the moment it leaves your device to the moment it reaches the receiver's call. This means that nobody else, including Facebook, can see or listen to what's sent or said. Keep in mind you can report end-to-end encryption messages to us if something's wrong. Facebook also updated the expiring messages feature with our end-to-end encrypted chats. People don't always want or need their messages to stick around on the timer controls unless the someone decide when their message expires in the chat. We update these settings to provide more options for people in the chat to choose the amount of time before all new messages disappear from few as long as 24 hours. Right, so that's Snapchat's, been doing that. So that's a feature, of course, Facebook added to Messenger. Uh, they say they will begin testing internet encryption group chats, including voice and video calls for friends and family that already have as an existing chat or already connected. We also begin to test for your delivery controls to work with your end-to-end encryption. That way, you can prevent unwanted interactions by deciding who can reach your chat list, who goes to your request folder, and who can't message you at all. Once again, all good features. So this is one I thought was interesting. U.S. government loses bid to force Facebook to wiretap messengers call. The U.S. government investigators have lost the case to force Facebook to wiretap calls made over its messenger app. The joint federal and state law enforcement effort it was investigating the M13 gang had pushed to a district court to hold the social network giant in contempt. The court to refuse to permit real-time listening in on voice calls. So the government was trying to have a wiretap so FBI or any three-letter agency they could just hit some and just start listening to calls automatically. Of course, the court ruled against them. The case filed in Fresno, California District Court, centered on alleged gang members accused of murder and other crimes. The government have been pushing prosecutors, assisting suspect gang members, but it said they have leaned on Facebook to obtain further evidence. Right, because everybody's talking on Facebook. I think people think Facebook's more secure. So Facebook gets a ton of search warrants on Facebook and Messenger and really Instagram and WhatsApp trying to get government information. Reuters said that an affidavit submitted by an FBI agent said there's no practical method available by which law enforcement can monitor calls on Facebook Messenger. Although Facebook on WhatsApp uses end-to-end encryption to prevent eavesdropping, not even the company can listen in, which law enforcement have long claimed that hinders investigations. But Facebook Messenger doesn't have end-to-end encryption voice calls, making it real-time listening in on calls possible. Right, so WhatsApp, and that's probably gonna be the next one I do. But Facebook doesn't have end-to-end encryption, so the government believes they can call it obfuscation to put something in there and observe calls on real time, like they said, the listen calls. This is not end-to-end encryption. They believe Facebook can do it. So one of the things about Facebook Messenger is how to start a secret conversation in Facebook. Facebook has made this a secret conversation very easy to find and how to start one with a friend. Open a regular conversation in Messenger with the person. Tap the more options. Go to secret conversation. You may be asked to turn on secret conversation in a new window. If asked, tap the switch on secret conversations. You can also make your message disappear by tapping on the timer in the box. So that's if you want to start an end-to-end encryption. Once again, they're trying to make it by default. So the, this is the disturbing part. Facebook third parties. So if you look to the box on the right, these are all the third party advertisers, analytics, product personalization, app functionalities, and other people, and how Facebook track you inside Facebook Messenger. There's at least I'm gonna say 100 different ways data linked to you through Facebook. So that's one of the real reasons why I don't trust Facebook. Like I said, they got a lot of contacts and a lot of ways to, you know, uh, take your data and sell it to advertisers. Messenger is an instant message app. The platform was developed by Meta. It originally was developed in 2008. The company revamped it in 2010, released iOS and Android apps in 2011, released the standalone Facebook hardware for Messenger in 2018. Facebook launched a dedicated website interface, messenger.com, and separated the message functionality from the main Facebook app, allowing the users to use the web interface and download one of the standalone apps. In April 2020, Facebook released a Messenger for a desktop app, Windows and Mac OS. Messenger is used to send messages, exchange photos, videos, stickers, audios, and files. Also react to other users' messages and interact with bots. The service also supports voice and video calling. The standalone app supports using multiple accounts, conversation with optional end-to-end encryption and playing games. So that's the big deal. It was the optional end-to-end. That's why the government believed they could get a real-time tap on the Messenger app. So it's showing you it on the phone. This is Facebook end-to-end. The protocol is designed to access the API running. It must be emphasized a web browser, not such as an app. The protocol is subdivided into three virtual independent components. High level components, API query language define the methods where the API is queries and response and converted to binary message. The cryptographical authorization layer defines the message by which the message are encrypted prior to being transmitted through the transport protocol layer. The transport component defines the methods of the client and the server transmits message over some of the existing network protocol, HTTP, HTTPS, web servers, plain WebSocket over HTTPS, TCP, and UDP. All right, so I had a hard time trying to figure out the encryption message in Facebook. Most companies just kind of make that obvious because they have a lot of third party and universities checking it. So that makes also makes me worried is um, has Facebook encryption been reviewed a lot since it's closely held to them. So there was a CVE in 2018 uh, security vulnerabilities, cross-site scripting vulnerabilities in Facebook app 16.0, Facebook app, Facebook Messenger app 10.0 for iOS, which is Apple, allows remote attackers to inject an arbitrary web script or HTML file. So that was a way. The cool thing though is CVEs. That means people reviewing it, people are fixing them, and they getting them fixed at a timely manner. No software is going to have no vulnerabilities. You just want to see when there's a vulnerability, they get on it, they get it scored, and their team fixes it. So that was it. I'm just kind of going through some of the apps, just seeing which ones I think are secure. Once again, I think it's secure. I just don't trust Facebook as a company, and I do think they be in league with the government a lot of times. Even the government be beating poor little Zuckerberg about the head. I still think they'd be sharing information with the government. So, Professor Black Ops, cybersecurity for the people. I would just use Facebook Messenger for regular messages. Uh, Everybody have a great holiday.